Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I got the little lady right here. Yep, there she is, getting her pets. We've been away for about a couple hours now, something like that. I decided to do a little bit of catching up with my tarot readers. Yeah, in some ways, I don't mind letting those readings go for a few days. It can be kind of interesting to watch them in retro, I guess you could say, and see how things play out and everything. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. See which readings match up with what's happened and so forth. So yeah, I know my head's a little itchy. I was going to get a shower yesterday and I wound up crashing instead. It was like I needed that couple of extra hours worth of sleep. And I thought, well, maybe I'll get a shower now, but I really wanted to go for a walk first. I didn't want to go outside in wet hair, not when it's only 15, maybe 20 degrees outside and ice and snow and all that sort of good stuff. Not a good idea. And so, yeah, I went for a little walk. And unfortunately, I lost my phone in a snowbank. Yeah, it fell out of my pocket. It was like I was trying to maneuver through a snowbank, and yeah, it fell out of my pocket. So it was just like, uh-oh. So I was retracing my steps. I was already winded, with just walking around in the cold weather, and then trying to trudge through. I mean, we're not talking big snowbanks. We're only talking little ones, but still, yeah, it left me a bit winded. And found my phone, still worked, so okay, no problem. And but yeah, after I was home for a little bit and I was sitting, all of a sudden I had felt this cold pocket that had lodged itself right in here came up, and it was just like, oh wow, yeah. So at least I know where I stand there. But today I'd like to be able to, I know that there's a Dollar Tree in this one store called Festival, kind of close by, basically within walking distance, but I was trying to get my bearings as to where they are. The reason why I want to go to Festival is because, my friend's husband, I've been cooking dinner for these guys, you know, way to earn my keep or whatever, and also give us some good home cooked meals. And I dreamt up something to cook last night, and I was just like, oh, can you? He was, we're still waiting on the washing machine repair place after everything that happened on Thursday. But anyway, so yeah, it's looking like they're going to be coming out Tuesday. In the meantime, I have to use the laundromat. He was running down there, and then he was going to stop off at the store. And I'm like, hey, can you pick me up a bag of frozen peas? Sure, no problem. And when he got it home, I happened to notice the label on it is the same as Albertsons. And I was just like, oh, it's an Albertsons store. Okay, it's part of the chain, even though it's a different brand. So I'm like, okay, I'd like to be able to go down there and check that out, and also stop off at Dollar Tree and check things out there as well. So it's within walking distance, so I figure I can walk down there today. Get out there, get some exercise. I really need that. I really, really do. So I'm going to do that today. But I dreamt up something else I'm just kind of, because they don't really have much time to cook. And if I can, help out with cooking, and they've been very appreciative, very, very appreciative to get some home cooked meals instead of, doing something out of a box or dragging something out of the freezer, like chicken nuggets or something like that, They've been very appreciative. So, and I know how to cook, and, or if need be, just, dream up something, So, last night Basically, it's the store brand of rice-a-roni, you know, the chicken flavor. So, and there was some turkey hamburger meat, yeah, that had been out of the freezer. So basically fried that up and then threw some butter in and fried up the rice, and then threw the water in, threw a little bit extra water in, because I was aside from the rice that I was finishing cooking up. Basically, the packet that comes in there, the seasoning packet, it's basically chicken bouillon. So of course threw that in, and then I also threw in some peas and carrots, frozen peas, and they had some carrots in there. Chopped those up, bam, you know about a 30-minute meal. So yeah, like I said, with throwing in the peas and carrots, I wanted those to be cooked a little bit more, so I threw a little bit extra water in, and good food. Everybody ate it up. So today there's another box of the rice-a-roni stuff up there. It's wild rice basically, and so I'm like, hey, I could do some. I could cook that up along with some. There's a package of chicken thighs up there, frozen. So it's like, okay, take those out to get those defrosted. I can chop that. I'm not a big dark meat fan unless it's in something like soup or something. But I'm just like, hey, I could take that and cook that up, chop it up in chunks, and cook it up with some salt, pepper, garlic cloves, chop those up, also some onion. And another reason why I want to go to the grocery store, see about getting some mushrooms, cook those all up in some butter, of course, along with the chicken, and then also cook up the rice. And I was thinking that I could also do take the rest of the carrots that were in there and cook those up. I'd have to get some olive oil, though, to cook them up the way that I'm thinking. And I think they'll really, basically, I just take take the carrots, throw some olive oil on with some salt, pepper, garlic, and basil and oregano. Stir it up, throw it in the oven. I think, what is it? I don't remember what's that, maybe 375 or something like that. I don't know. Throw it in the oven on some sort of temperature, a higher temperature, like 350 or above. And I think it's like 350. I don't remember what I usually do. I think 350. I'm sure my brain would get triggered later. But yeah, I think it's 350. Yeah, that sounds right. Throw it in the oven about 30 minutes, or basically cook it down to your desired crunchy or smushiness, whichever you prefer. Basically, I usually do about 30, maybe 45 minutes, to kind of depending on how hot the oven gets. And you get yourself a vegetable. It's quick, simple meals like that. Doesn't take a whole lot. And it's just stuff that I've dreamt up over the years, basically, or I'm dreaming up right now, even, just kind of looking around in the house, and it's like, oh, okay, well, we have this, we have that, okay, let's do this, that, so on and so forth. So, hey, it works, that's all that matters. And it's cheap, So, excuse me. So, I've been doing that for those guys, and yeah, like I said, I'd like to check out those two stores, see what's down there. And there's a Mexican restaurant too that's right there, one of those hole-in-the-wall sort of places. I really want to check them out, see how authentic it is. So, but yeah, I've been doing that for those guys, and of course for myself as well. Keep some good food going. And get out there, and I really would like to get a shower today. I haven't felt well enough to get a shower. That's the problem. I haven't felt secure enough to, because I was dealing with a lot of dizzy spells and so forth. And I didn't want to get in the shower and then, have a dizzy spell, possibly pass out or whatever. So I've been taking it real easy. It's been kind of like when you get on some sort of prescription medication, especially like painkillers or something like that, and then you go off of them and you have kind of like that drug high, and you're coming down from the drug high and you get those dizzy spells and so forth. It's kind of like what I've been dealing with over the last few days. So yeah, I haven't been wanting to, and then of course, dealing with a little bit of pain in here. Some of it been very sharp. So it's been quieting down. It's getting to be more of a dull pain, Say hi. Here she is, Miss America. Yeah, that's our Miss America right here. So, but yeah, I know. But we're doing good. She's doing very good. Yeah, she keeps looking out the window at all the snow. I haven't had a chance to take her outside yet. But there's still time. Yeah, snow's not going anywhere. We are supposed to be getting up into the upper 30s, low 40s. Yeah, heat wave. I don't know what the temperature was when I woke up. I didn't look at it. I completely forgot. But yeah, it actually got it up into the 20s yesterday. So that's what I was going to mention. I did get pictures of the monster icicles. They're not as monstrous as what they were when I first got here. So, but I did get pictures of what's left. So all those pictures are on the community tab on the YouTube channel. And I did post on all the social media as well. So if you want to check out pictures of all the snow and so forth, have at it. And I did send them individually to some of my friends too, through texting. So, yeah, interesting responses. But yeah, I'd like to take her out to see the snow and everything, which I will at some point. Maybe not this weekend with everybody home. Maybe when it's a little bit quieter around here. But she's been doing really, really good. Doing a really fantastic job. I'm very proud of her. So, but yeah, it's been, and I've been thinking about, things to do and so forth. I did speak with my friend's brother. He works on cars and also refurbishes or whatever for resale. So it's like, okay, that could be a possibility there and everything with possibly getting a car, I don't expect to hear back from the social worker, excuse me, until next week, early part of next week. But from what she was saying, she had a lot of contacts, with Section 8 housing, Section 8 vouchers, and also, that was the other thing. I was having her research as well is the, I'm trying to think, disability, possibilities of disability. And she's like, I do know some, I have a contact who could possibly help us out with that. So, I'm just trying to research all avenues and everything. I'd still be able to work, with going on disability. But if it's a possible avenue, I'd much rather research it, especially since, I've been dealing with this for 2 years now and haven't had much in the way of help. And who knows, especially since I'm sure there's been a lot of damage because I haven't been getting any help. So it's a very good possibility that we might be able to get me to a certain point, but that's going to be about it, So we'll see. And that's where the research for disability is going to come in handy. So, yeah, that's why I'm like, we should look at that just just to see. I'm not, don't get me wrong, I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of living off of, things like that. I've always believed in, doing everything I possibly can to earn a living, make my own way and so forth. But at the same point, those services, I've had to learn the hard way with being on Medicaid and food stamps. Those services are there for a reason. It's there for people who just can't. It's either that or euthanize us, basically is what it boils down to, because unfortunately the other alternative is going hungry, living on the streets, things like that. Which would you prefer? So, but it's it's an interesting experience, and I know I'm treading or going down a road that I never thought I would be going down, but here I am, So, and I'm easing into it. But I was also thinking, going down there, who knows, I might see help wanted sign or something too. And on one hand, I did talk about this with Angie. On the one hand, yes, I need to see about getting back to work, earning some sort of living, getting some sort of paycheck coming in. But at the same point, with this situation, with social worker, who knows if I'm going to wind up here or where I'm going to wind up in the area. And Minneapolis, St. Paul areas is kind of a big area. I might wind up on the south side. I might wind up on the west side. Who knows where I might wind up. So, and on the one hand, I hate to see about getting a job right here, and then a week or two later, I have to drag the job, So, yeah. But at the same point, who knows? It might all work out where I can stay right here in this area, But at least it gives me something to do, I'll admit, I'm getting a little bored. I've realized this time right now is opportunity for me to get some much needed rest and relax and get things calmed down in my chest and so forth. But at the same point, I'm a hyper person, and I'm not somebody who can sit on my butt for very long, So, besides, I do have this little girl to take care of. I know. She's like, oh, scratch my butt. Scratch my butt. She loves her butt being scratched. She's so silly. Oh, yes, Mommy, you haven't scratched my butt yet this morning. You can hear, I don't know if you all can hear her purring. Yeah, all from scratching her butt. So anyway, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now with everything. Not too much going on, not too much to talk about or anything. Yeah, I know I've got things pretty much a mess around here because I don't want to get myself situated or anything, because I don't know what's going to be happening here in the next few days. But otherwise, yeah. And I have been thinking on, or at least starting to do a little bit of research on possibly, kind of getting to know the area a little bit. They get some of those free newspapers at the grocery store, and I looked through some of those yesterday, looking at like advertisements and so forth. Kind of get a little feel for things around here a little bit. Maybe I can start building a portfolio, things like that. And, just kind of taking it slow. I mean, on the one hand, I, of course, feel like there's a rush. That's what I'm used to. But it's like Angie keeps telling me, just take it slow. You've been through a lot. I have. And it's not just physically, it's also emotionally, mentally, and not just, with this situation directly, but also with things that I went through with people that I know, you know. And I'll admit, there at the end, it was really nice meeting a bunch of new people. I felt that who have been very supportive. I feel like I was with letting go a lot of the toxicity in my life. That all of a sudden I started getting in a lot of the. I started getting my tribe in. Basically, is what it boils down to. So, yeah. But anywho, I think I'm going to do this a little short today. It's been nice. And I did have a dream about one of my oracle decks that I had to leave behind. I'm like, okay, there's a message trying to come through, and I knew what it was. It was one of the cards that I pulled about a month ago, something like that. It's like all of a sudden I'll get that ping where I have to do a reading or whatever, and then it and next thing I know, I'm using all these different decks, and then it winds up being messages that span over a long period of time that all of a sudden I'll get pulled to, and it's like, oh, okay, I see. And that's what happened with me with the dream I had last night. There's one deck in particular. There was a message trying to come through with that, and unfortunately I don't have that deck with me. And I was just like, okay, what were those 3 cards that I pulled? And then it was that last card I was trying to remember, because I knew that I just had this feeling it was that card, and sure enough, it was the Keeper of Opportunities. It's like, yeah. And if watching MJ's readings this morning, MJ Cranmore, she has the Soulful Revolution YouTube channel. I haven't been watching all week, but I watched this morning's readings where she goes all the way around the zodiac. And I always watch my Sun, Moon, Rising, North Node, and Lilith, and each of them definitely are in relation to the Keeper of Opportunities. Certain messages coming through, and then Deborah's Enchantments on Facebook. She also has the YouTube channel, but she keeps it mostly on her Facebook page. And with the two combined, it's like, yeah, releasing, letting go a lot of that toxicity, that's been in my life for a long time, and opportunities. And it occurred to me that really with minimalizing with what I have gotten out of my life and everything, not just people, but also with belongings, I'm down to 2 suitcases, really. And it's like, gosh, that's opens up a lot of opportunities, Yeah. So, we'll see. Who knows? Well, how I thought of that was, with, I think it was with MJ, with one of the readings where she was talking about Europe or whatever. I'm like, yeah, that doesn't have anything to do with me. But then it got me to thinking. I'm like, yeah. But, and I've also been thinking about everything, with watching Angie and her family, and listening to her husband talk about that, and towards the end of spring, beginning of summer, when the thaws are definitely here, no more freezes or anything, about the fact that he always likes to plant a vegetable garden, and their daughter, she wants to start an herb garden. And those are things that I was trying to do out there with doing container gardening, but I just wasn't having very much success. And then, using the canning jars for storing all of my staples, like flour and so forth, if you remember those pictures that I had posted. And doing the sewing up quilts and so forth, sewing up little things, beautiful things to put around the house, like the little pillow that I had sewn. It's like, yeah, they're living the life that I have been wanting to live, that I've been striving to live. So, yeah, sky's the limit. And there's farm country, of course, not too far from here and everything. And I have been wanting to, oh my goodness, we are definitely shedding here. I have been wanting to do that rescue farm. I get that opportunity. And there is that those big sewing and craft stores that Angie was telling me about. So, yeah. And I have been wanting to sew up my own clothes, like with scrap material and so forth, like doing quilted skirts and patchwork pants and so forth, doing my own designs and everything. And who knows, might even take off as a new fashion trend. Who knows? It's like, and I noticed that in stores before I left, that it seemed like that the trend with fashions, at least the stores that I had been in before I left Vegas, it was a little bit more of that country look and so forth. And it's like, we're kind of going back to that again, that country hippie look again. So it's like, it might be an option. Never know. But yeah, she is definitely shedding. That's something fierce. She's got to get rid of her summer coat, I guess you could say, from Vegas, and replace it with a winter coat for out here. But we've been staying pretty warm here in the room. We got a little space heater, and then I've got my heating blanket. Ooh, definitely a heating blanket and my saddle blanket, and I just turn that on, and with the three combined, I stay nice and warm overnight. So, yeah, she's definitely enjoying getting good and scratched. So, but anyway, I probably will have to get her maybe that other. Oh, yeah, she's just like, oh, Mommy, yes, scratch me. You should, yeah, see if I can get her. Yeah, look at that look. She's just like, oh, and purring away. She's like, oh, yes, scratch, scratchy. Oh, scratch, scratch. I know, my poor baby. I know. It's the Possum TV show. All right, guys. All right, I do love you guys, and I'll save the kiss today. There, we'll do it that way. I'll talk to y'all soon. All right, take it easy. Oh my goodness. Yeah, lots of hair coming out. She's definitely going to be doing a bit of shedding. So, all right, love you guys. I'll talk to y'all soon. Take it easy.